The training hall of the Galactic Defense Academy fell silent as Instructor Vexthor's 4 eyes swept across the assembled cadets. The Krithari officer stood nearly 3 meters tall, his exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial lights of the orbital station. Around him, representatives from 47 species waited, their various appendages, tentacles, and limbs shifting nervously. "Today," Vexthor announced, his translator converting his clicks into standard galactic, "we discuss close-quarters combat. A dying art in modern warfare, but essential knowledge nonetheless." In the back row, Specialist Marcus Chen tried to make himself smaller. It never worked. At 2 meters and 90 kilograms, he was already considered a physical anomaly among the other cadets, most of whom relied on ranged weapons, shields, or natural toxins for defense. His species, humanity, had only joined the galactic community 3 cycles ago, and they were still regarded as curiosities. Weak gravity worlders, slow healers, fragile. "I require a volunteer," Vexthor continued, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Someone to demonstrate defensive techniques against an opponent with superior reach and strength." No one moved. The Vorlaxians were energy beings. The Pilixi were barely a meter tall. The Thros, while massive, had refused to participate in anything involving physical contact since the unfortunate incident with the airlock. Vexthor's primary eyes fixed on Marcus. "Human, you will suffice." Marcus felt 46 pairs of eyes and other sensory organs turned toward him. He stood, his boots echoing on the metallic floor as he made his way to the demonstration circle. Whispers followed him in a dozen languages. "The human? He'll be crushed. Their bones break so easily. I heard they don't even have natural armor." Vexthor gestured to his own species' combat instructor, a Krithari warrior named Zeknir who'd served in the border wars. Zeknir stepped forward, his 3-meter frame dwarfing Marcus. He wore traditional combat plating, and his forearms ended in claws that could shear through steel. "The scenario," Vexthor explained, "is simple. The human will attempt to survive 30 seconds against Zeknir. No weapons, no killing blows. Standard engagement protocols." Marcus rolled his shoulders, a very human gesture that confused several cadets. He'd known this was coming. In every training session, the instructors eventually called on the human to demonstrate something, usually to show their limitations. A teaching moment about knowing one's weaknesses. Zeknir circled him, professional and controlled. The warrior had fought in 16 campaigns. He'd trained thousands of soldiers. This would be routine. "Begin," Vexthor commanded. Zeknir lunged with the speed his species was famous for, all 4 arms reaching to grapple the human in an unbreakable hold. It was a standard Krithari opening. Overwhelming force, multiple points of contact, immediate dominance. Marcus wasn't there. He'd slipped inside Zeknir's guard, under those grasping arms, moving with a fluidity that seemed to defy his species' supposed limitations. Before Zeknir could adjust, Marcus's elbow struck the warrior's primary joint, not hard enough to injure, but precisely placed to disrupt the nerve cluster there. Zeknir's upper right arm went momentarily numb. The Krithari warrior's training kicked in immediately. He spun using his superior mass to create distance, reassessing his opponent. The human had moved like water, like something that understood combat at an instinctive level that transcended mere training. They circled each other again. The room had gone absolutely silent. Zeknir attacked again, this time with more caution, using his reach advantage. His strikes were precise, powerful, designed to force the human to defend, to retreat, to submit to the inevitable reality of physical mismatch. Marcus flowed between the attacks. He didn't block, he redirected. He didn't retreat, he angled. Every movement minimized wasted energy, turned Zeknir's strength against him, used the warrior's own momentum as a weapon. When Zeknir overextended on a particularly aggressive strike, Marcus was suddenly behind him. The human's arm wrapped around the Krithari's neck in what the other species would later learn was called a rear naked choke. Not choking, Krithari. Breathed through spiracles, but applying pressure to the major vessels that fed Zeknir's brain. The warrior had 3 seconds of consciousness left when he tapped out. The silence in the room was absolute. Marcus released immediately, stepping back, offering a hand to help Zeknir up. The Krithari warrior stared at the human's extended hand for a long moment before accepting it. allowing himself to be pulled to his feet by this supposedly weak creature. How? Vexthor's voice had lost its pedagogical tone. You have no natural weapons, no armor, no superior strength or speed. How? Marcus looked at the instructor, then at the assembled cadets. He saw confusion, shock, and in some eyes the first glimmers of understanding. Because we had to, Marcus said simply. My species evolved on a death world. We weren't the biggest, fastest, or strongest. We didn't have claws, venom, or armor. We had to learn to fight smarter. We studied leverage, weak points, psychology. We developed martial arts, combat systems refined over thousands of years passed down through generations. He gestured to Zeknir, who still looked stunned. Your species is incredible. Strong, fast, multiple limbs, but you evolved to dominate through superior attributes. We evolved to overcome superior attributes. Vexthor's mandibles clicked slowly, a sign of deep thought among Crithari. Demonstrate again, he said quietly. Show us these. Martial arts. Marcus spent the next hour doing exactly that. He showed them leverage points that worked across different body types. He demonstrated how to use an opponent's strength against them. He explained concepts like center of gravity, momentum, and the psychological aspects of combat that had nothing to do with physical strength. The cadets watched, transfixed as the human broke down combat into principles that applied regardless of one's species. He showed the Polixi how their small size was an advantage. He taught the Vorlaxians how to disrupt an opponent's energy field with precise timing. He even convinced the Thros to try a simple throw technique. By the end of the session, Instructor Vexthor stood beside Marcus, his tone one of newfound respect. I have been teaching combat for 30 cycles, he said, and I have never seen anything like this. The Galactic Defense Force will want to know more about these human fighting techniques. Marcus smiled. We have about 800 distinct martial arts systems on Earth, sir. Each one developed for different circumstances, different environments, different opponents. I only know 5 of them. Vexthor's translator struggled to convey his expression, but the meaning was clear. Astonishment, respect, and just a touch of fear. As the cadets filed out, their conversations animated with excitement, Marcus caught Zeknir's eye. The Crithari warrior approached, extending all 4 hands in the gesture of equals recognizing equals. Will you teach me? Zeknir asked. Marcus grasped the offered hands. I'd be honored. And so humanity added another contribution to the galactic community, not through superior technology or natural gifts, but through thousands of years of hard-won knowledge about how to fight, survive, and overcome when you're the underdog, because that's what humans had always been, and that's what had made them, paradoxically, the most dangerous close combat fighters the galaxy had ever seen. In the halls of the Galactic Defense Academy, a new course would be added to the curriculum, and its human instructor would teach the galaxy a simple truth. When survival depends on being better rather than bigger, you learn to be the best.